Today on Get in the Lab, we're talking about finding your audience. It's not an overnight thing, but I'm going to give you 5 ways that can help you find it faster. Also, resubmitting my guest post and Shark Week. More on that in 3, 2, 1. Plato said, "Know thyself." It's not always easy, but it is necessary. This is Get in the Lab. Hey, welcome back to the lab. My name is Megan. I run small little experiments to gain big personal goals, and then I tell you about it. So thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it. We're in episode 6, season 3 now, which means I have over 500 videos under my belt now. Thank you very much. I'm getting really excited. I want to thank you guys for being here. Season 3, I've definitely seen a massive return for the work that I'm putting in, which is better quality audience members, getting little tidbits here and there of validation, and I'm really excited. I've been rehearsing steadily for my podcast Movement Talk, 3 ways to add video to your podcast. Will I see you there? That'll be really cool. We should hook up. I'm also doing headshots down there for podcasters as well. I think we have 3 or 4 people on the books. I think I have room for like 3 more or 2 more because I don't want to work that much. Well, I want to work, but I don't want to work. I want to network and socialize. I'm getting really excited. We're just about reaching the end of July here. I hope you guys had a fantastic July 4th weekend. I had a really good time. We had the parents, like my side and Kevin's side, meet kind of for the first time. That was exciting. So yeah. Other things that have been going down, I just finished Witcher 3, big video game buff over here. Only the good ones though, okay? And apparently I got the worst ending. So I was supposed to, I was like, oh, okay, it did seem bad to me, but apparently there are better endings. So what does that mean? Play it again. Thank you very much. So I'll be doing that probably just as soon as I stop recording this. Today, like I said, we're going to talk about finding your audience. I'm going to give you 5 little tips that I've learned over the course of making video and growing my audience here on YouTube in a very humble yet steady rate. So you can take that with a grain of salt. I'm just happy you're here. Okay. So this episode is brought to you by a new lab rat watcher of the show. His name's Kyle Hamilton. We'll get into his question later on in the episode, but for now it's time for the lab spotlight, right? This is something we introduced last week where talked about who out there, who are the brands and businesses that we can learn from, as far as like a life lesson or a business lesson that we can learn from and take it and make it work for us little humble lab rats over here. So I was on Google Trends and I was like, who can I spotlight in the spotlight, right? And it's actually Shark Week. I don't have TV, but it's Shark Week. And I was like, okay, cool. But hold it. Why Shark Week? Like, sharks are cool and everything. I get it. I dig it. I like sharks. But why? Why in 2015 are we still kind of crazy about Shark Week? But I guess, there's no better time to talk about sharks. But, I was like, why? Why this attention to sharks? Why isn't there no, Red Panda Week? I'm totally down with red pandas, 100 times better than sharks, right? They're much cuter. So, I wanted to bring this up because Shark Week is a prime example of marketing that's gone to the dark side. I think it's slowly recovering. I think as people have kind of woken up, thank God, to sleazy marketing and ploys just to make money. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But Shark Week was actually started. I did some digging. It started back in the 80s, and it was supposed to raise awareness and respect for sharks, right? And I was like, okay, cool. I'm down with that. That's good. Sharks are an integral part of the ecosystem. They're predators, but they've been vilified, right, as we've seen. And it's sort of making these docu-fictions, they call them, docu-fictions. So kind of, exaggerating the truth and making them seem really scary. And this sort of entertainment, the way that Jaws did so successfully, was scare the hell out of you based on the fact that, this entity, this movie, or these docufictions that are promoted throughout Shark Week make you fearful and kind of prey on your most base, underdeveloped emotions, just the way that reality TV does, or the way that Jurassic World is doing right now and being rewarded for it, and other crap entertainment out there. They follow this sort of shallow model, business model of preying on your fear. Like, fear is the best freaking marketing tool ever, in a good way and in a bad way. It can really be used to motivate and activate people, but it's based on fear. And when things are based on fear, that rarely ever works out in your favor. So why it also comes to call, like, why Shark Week in July? Well, duh, because it's summer break. People are going to the beach, vis-a-vis, they're thinking about sharks, and it's an awesome way to spike up views on a Discovery Channel, make some money off of that, a lot of money. During what we now call Shark Week. And I think people just in general, they love an event. They love something to hashtag. They love something to follow and to belong to. And this is just another example of that. And so like Gary Vee says, like, it's great that that Shark Week has started from something with good intentions, and then like Gary Vee says, marketers ruin everything because execs found out that you can make money off of these sharks who don't give a shit about money, right? They're just swimming, doing their thing, getting caught in nets and crap and being vilified. They don't really give a damn about that, but we use them, we being corporate America, to our advantage, and totally forget about the why behind what Shark Week was supposed to do. So this is a great lesson for us, for those of us who ever make money, which is all of us, which is not to figure it about the why. Like, I think corporate America starts on really good intentions, and it has really good whys behind what they do, and it's the reason why they get successful, because they start up with like great stories or good intentions, but then money comes in and kind of fucks everything up. So it's something that we have to be aware of. Like, this happens. This comes with corporate America, culture and society, and I feel like you can't have one without the other. And so it's up to us as the populace and the people, the consumers, and the people who put out the products and these messages to kind of rein it back into, I guess, be more responsible, right? Be more responsible with that power, with the fact that, yes, we can make lots of money, and yes, I can buy into a product that feeds on my most base emotions. But am I being conscious about it? And sometimes people will say, well, why can't I just go to the movies to be entertained? Why can't I just watch Shark Week to be entertained? Like, I need to escape, right? I had a hard ass time in my job this week. Let me just watch Shark Week or Jurassic World or whatever crap entertainment there is out there these days. And let me just turn off my brain for a moment and let me escape. And you know what? I totally get that, because I have video games. That's my drug, right? To escape from my stresses. At the same time, I'm not going to just keep turning my brain off and keep feeding money into, say, a video game that razzle dazzles me with great graphics and good looking characters and just the way that a fancy movie can, but then it doesn't execute in a clever way. It doesn't make me think in a better way. It doesn't improve my life in a smidge, in that, it makes me think about character development and making conscious choices about my life, which is something I still really look for in a game. In a game or in a movie. I'm still looking to be entertained, but in a way that doesn't make me feel dumber when I leave the cinema or when I leave from playing a game. It's the same thing. So like, even me being the biggest Final Fantasy fan ever, I'm not going to feed into a brand or a business when they haven't delivered the goods thus far. So like, I won't stand behind something that has shallow content, right? So there's something to be said where, like, there comes a time where we have to wake up. We have to wake up. And sometimes, I'll catch myself doing that where it's like, okay, I just totally feel dumber from that experience. I gave money to it. I rewarded that sort of entertainment, and now I feel worse for it. And that's something that can't keep going. We can't keep perpetuating something like Shark Week or bad entertainment or messages that get attention that don't really deserve it, and that sort of thing, right? So I think it's great discussion to have in the lab right now, because it's just something that happens with every industry, and this is something I'll dig into more because we're seeing it hardcore in the wedding industry that we're in. We'll dig into more of that on next week's episode. So yeah, I mean, kind of heavy, not heavy. It's not heavy. I think it's a valid conversation to have. And though I may have not covered everything right now, like being in the moment here, shooting in front of this camera, which is great because, it leaves it open for discussion, and you can always hit me up in the comments and share your thoughts as well. All right. So, yeah, let's move on to the next segment, and let me check if this shit is recording. All right, so moving on to segment 2. I hope my hair is not weird. Sometimes I'll come back and then my hair is all weird, and then nobody tells me. I understand. You're far away. Okay, so segment number 2. Let's talk about the niche site experiment. So if you haven't been with us, and if you're just joining us, my goal was to create a niche site from scratch and then generate $500 a month from it. This is going to take a lot of time. So right now I'm in the writing process. I'm learning a lot about SEO and how to keyword research and stuff like that. Last week I told you guys that I submitted a guest post to hongyat.com, which if you didn't watch last week's episode, it hit all the check marks for a good place to submit a guest post, so you can have some link juice back to your own niche site or to your own site. And so last time I submitted it, they responded right away, like the same day, and they were like, no, no, you did it wrong, but you have some structure here, so I encourage you to resubmit it. And so I was like, okay, cool, that's encouraging. So I changed it up. I tried to do my best, and then I resubmitted it, and I submitted it like yesterday or 2 days ago or something like that, and they didn't respond right away back. So maybe that means that they're looking at it more closely. Haven't heard about that, but I will update you guys on when that does happen. But yeah, so I'm submitting guest posts, and I think I'll just keep doing that as I get declined or accepted, and just keep going through that cycle of trying to submit guest posts to generate traffic towards the site. Also, really exciting, we bought the premium version of Longtail Pro. So it was going to be Longtail Pro or Market Samurai, and these are keyword research tools. And so I want to give a shout out to nichesitetools.com for giving us a nice little discount on that product. So it came out to be like $67 lifetime versus Market Samurai, which is like $150 lifetime. So quite a discount there. But yeah, all of that stuff that I'm talking about, guys, with the guest posting and what else? Yeah, with the guest posting, you can find that in the show notes. And as far as, the niche site tools and all of that stuff, that'll also be in the show notes. So that's it. That's it for the niche site update. I think I'm just going to keep kind of following that pattern. Shout out to Dave Chesson for teaching me a bunch of crap about guest posting. And I think this is something not just with the niche site that I'll be doing for Get in the Lab moving forward, definitely, to bring some more traffic to getinthilab.me. So, yeah, good things. I think that'll kind of wrap it up. That was a really quick update for the niche site. Yeah. Okay, let's move to the last one. All right. All right, last segment, guys. Okay, let's talk about 5 ways to build a captive audience. Okay, so let's read Kyle Hamilton's question. So he says, my channel is based on lifestyle vlogs and tech reviews. My problem is reaching out, and I'm not sure how to reach an audience in a world where tagging and hashtagging is everything. Any thoughts? So I had a little problem kind of figuring out that question. I was like, well, are you saying you don't know where to start with tags, or you don't know where to start? So this is my interpretation of your question. You can always kind of clarify in the comments, okay? So you're asking me how to build an audience when you can tag everything under the sun. Okay, so here's my first tip on building an audience, which is, tagging. You've got to tag your videos for sure. So tagging your videos kind of falls into two camps, okay? So the first method, which is tag that shit up. Like, fill that whole thing up with tags, with every relevant tag that you can think of. So this is funny because Dre Bailey, the chap who hosted with me on Good Shit Friday in season 2, he that's actually how we met. So he was like, hey, your videos are great, but you're not tagging that correctly. And I was like, oh, okay, teach me, senpai. How do I do it? So he was like, you just tag it everything. You fill that whole thing up. And you can revisit that episode right here or in the show notes. And he tells you how to tag the videos, and then like which ones, also how to title your videos as well. So I think that's really important. I'll leave that in the show notes. That was something I did for a while. It seemed to work at that time when I was putting out daily videos. I was getting subs like all the time. A lot of people were commenting, a lot of engagement. Things have gotten down since then, but that's okay because that's not really my goal as far as engagement and subs and likes. That sounds bad. But yeah, that's one method, okay, as far as tagging. Here's the second way. So strategic tags. So choosing strategic keywords and tagging those. And so this is the option that I choose. To me, it's easier because I don't have to sit there and freaking write a bunch of tags. Like, I think that's the most tedious thing ever. And also I feel like it's more strategic. It makes more sense to me now that I've done a little bit of research into on-page SEO and keyword research. So here's how I would approach tagging strategically, okay? Because this is what I do. I'm not really sure if it works 100%. But it makes sense to me. Okay. So, do some research on the keywords, of that particular video you want to make. So for example, a video on lifestyle, right? So you would say something like, go to Google keyword tool and then search lifestyle, and then see what pops up from that. From there, you're going to see, look for long tail keywords being the longer phrases. It'll be like something lifestyle or lifestyle of something, right? Look for long tail keywords that are low competition. So it'll say low right next to it under the competition like column. And then they have over 1,000 in search volume, and then use that phrase to tag your video up. So like target that keyword, right? So that's what I would do. There's a much more complicated way of going about this, and I'm sure you can add on some other little things that you want to just tag your video. So every time I strategically tag a video, say this one is going to be about building an audience. So my target keyword, I think, is going to be captive audience or something like that. That's what the keyword is that I found that hit those requirements. But what I'm also going to do when I tag this video is I'm also going to put my name, I'm going to put the show, and just stuff like that. That way I tag it under a certain category. So, and then that's it. I think that's basically it. I'm not going to tag much more than that. And you can always look up my tags to see what I'm talking about by using the Google extension called vidIQ. And so you can see all the tags that people are using. Before you have to go like right click and then like Control F and then Control F tag to find the tags that creators were using, and they found that really annoying. I didn't really do that. I did that like twice because it's annoying to go through that whole process. But this extension just does it for you, and it just shows you the tags that creators are using. And so in my experience, I've found that, well, people who tag shit up versus people who strategically tag, or they just use a couple of relevant keywords, they're getting like the same. So I didn't really see a difference. And if I can choose an easier option that kind of makes sense to me, and it will also make sense because I'm going to embed these videos in a blog post, that makes more sense to me to strategically tag my videos instead of tagging the whole thing up. All right. I need water now. Water. The second thing that you can do is define yourself. A big thing I think with video is people can see and hear you, right? So right away, people can know from seeing and hearing you and watching you and all this, that they kind of can know, depending on how you define yourself, who you are for and who you are not for, right? So it makes it very easy to make that distinction, like Mac versus PC. That's the easiest example I can give you. So Mac or PC? Are you a Mac person or are you a PC person, right? So you want to kind of use that simplified concept as to how people are going to see you. So the only way that you can really kind of find that is by going out and making videos and see, and kind of test the waters and see who you are, because the personality that I have here on camera, it's me. It's very much me, but it's a me for the camera. So if you were to sit next to me, I'm not going to talk to you like this, right? I'm going to talk to you like a normal human being. But because I'm in front of a camera, in front of a mic and doing this whole thing, I'm doing a show, there is a performance element to this. And so that's also something to think about when you're thinking about how to define yourself in front of the camera and who is my audience. There is a performance there, whether it's a really, really turned up version or turned down version of yourself or somewhere in between. There is a performance element there. So that's something that you're just going to have to find out because by doing, right? So I've been making videos since like this, like speaking for the camera, since like 2012. And it took since 2012 to feel this comfortable. However, I'm coming off to you on camera right now. It's taken me that long. Okay. So is that good or bad? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like that thing, like, how long did it take you to get you where you were? You're like, well, it took me as long as it took. That's all I can tell you. So there's no reason for you to compare yourself to me or to any other creator. Those are just other creators like myself, are just there to inspire you and to maybe get you activated and moving. But when you're in the creator's seat, you have nobody else to compare to except for yourself, or you should only compare yourself to yourself, like who you were, yesterday or a week ago or whatever. All right. So that is something to think about. Okay. Third thing is to brand yourself consistently. So this has been one of my biggest lessons, is that, consistent branding throughout all of your platforms is really important, because people get confused. People have told me outright, like, I go Google your name and this image pops up and this image pops up. So I was like kind of confused, and you look really ratty over here, but you look professional over here. So I was confused. And that's something that it's a small thing, but it makes a big statement. So if your branding is not consistent, right, throughout all the social media platforms that you have, and how even you present yourself in person, that makes a difference. It sends a message. It's not always clear, and when it's not clear, that's like the biggest problem, right? So at least try to be clear with your branding. For me, it's red. Splashes of red everywhere. It's get in the lab everywhere. It's hair down, right? How do you wear your hair? What pants you wear? All this kind of stuff. And most of all, just making it consistent, right? And it doesn't have to be like, I always wear red pants or I always wear this shirt. It can be whatever it is, whatever your brand is going to be. Just make sure it's consistent. That's the only thing I can say to you. All right. All right. Fourth thing is to have a great looking or well produced show. So let's face it, like the YouTubers are like freaking savvy as hell with the editing, with the effects, with the titles, the timing, comedic timing, etc. It's getting pretty competitive. They're getting pretty damn creative. They're very good storytellers nowadays. And I was just looking for some fashion YouTubers because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And so I was looking, through YouTube, and like, it's amazing what people do just for some lookbooks. Lookbooks are just like, they walk around in their clothes, but they're actually telling a story as they're doing it. The lighting looks great. The shooting, the timing, the music, the cut, the editing. Oh man, it's amazing. And so I'm definitely going to look at that creator versus somebody who just who just stands in their living room and says, look at me, look at these clothes, aren't they awesome? Definitely, you know, you can definitely find an audience faster when you put that much effort into your videos, for sure. All right, last thing. And this should be kind of just the basis of anything that you go forward and create, which is always offer something of value. This is a very generic statement. It's not a cop-out, but it's something that always just has to be. It's like the foundation. Is it valuable? Are you offering something of value? Are you being of service? And so if that concept is too vague for you, I like to break it down as to, how can I help? How can I help? You know, that I think that you're always in the perspective of how can I help, then that will take you really far. That's something that I think kind of escapes us sometimes because we always want to talk about ourselves. We're just human like that, which is okay. It's great to talk about yourself and to share your experience. That's what we all do. But I think if you make that slight tweak in your mind, it's like, well, why am I creating this content and how can I help with it? That's really going to take you far. I think people can tell when you're just trying to talk about yourself or you're actually trying to help people and inform people to make better decisions about their lives. So that's what I would say to you. Okay. So, good things, guys. I think next week we're going to really dive into the concept of big business and kind of the dark side of marketing that we kind of touched on earlier in segment 1, talking about Shark Week. I think that conversation's super interesting because it's something that Kevin and I have been talking about within the wedding industry. It's something that we're seeing kind of just taking over all industry. And I think I'm not new to this conversation, but I think it's still important to have because we can't just lie down to it. We can't just accept it. I think there's certain things like, yes, I'm kind of accepting it, saying like, oh yes, there's a dark side to marketing and there's a dark side to business. But if we just let it go and we don't discuss it and we don't talk about ways and solutions on how we're going to change it incrementally as you know, solopreneurs and small business people, then yeah, it is going to be the norm and it is going to be accepted and to keep going. But it starts with having conversations, even as small as this audience here, which I'm incredibly grateful for. It starts here. So let's talk about that stuff. We're going to talk about it next week. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm going to be writing articles about it, trying to educate, you know, our audience, our consumers about this thing that it does concern us. And it's not always about making money, right? Because we care about the industry that we're in, whether that be the wedding industry, the podcaster industry, the content creator industry. We're all a part of it. Whoa. That was the biggest piece of spit ever. That's for you. That's extra. That's bonus. Okay. So good things, guys. Thanks for hanging out today. I really appreciate it here in the lab. And once again, my name is Megan, reminding you to get in the lab. We'll see you. That's how the animes do it. I wish we could just animate one of these shows. That would be so cool, wouldn't it? Any animators out there? That would be really fun. Super fun. All right. I think this one was a little animated, so you can actually create something out of it, but we'll see. That'll be a cool Fiverr thing. Yeah.